Testing, testing, one, two, three. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading the show. We really appreciate it. This is the Backlit Cinema Podcast, coming at you with a bonus episode number 14. My name is Zoe. Let me get that out of the way first. My name is Zoe, the Z-O, for those of you who are wondering how the name Zoe is spelled, or who think I'm saying so, or though, or go. No, I'm saying Zoe, with Z-O or Z-O, if you're outside of the U.S. As I said, this is a bonus episode, and this is going to be a shorty, because I just got back from a movie that I've been wanting to see for a long time. I've been teased with it, because this movie had actually opened up in March 25th, and it's just now being released in this area. So I had read about this movie thinking that it was in production, but it was actually about to be released. And I was intrigued by it because one of the stars is a child star from all of our past, from some great movies that he was in. But most of us only know him from those two movies. And he's did like a couple of things since then, but we hadn't like heard a lot from him. And because he was in those movies, I wanted to see him in this movie. It's like after all of these years of not being in a significant or well-known project, what is he doing now? What does he look like now? How is he going to act now? It's like, I mean, mainly, how is he now? Because the last time I seen him, he was a child, and now he's an adult. So it's like, what's going on with him? So that was the first attraction. The second attraction is that it's a Michelle Yeoh movie. Now, I originally thought that he was just going to play a bit part, but he's actually a major part of this movie, and I'm pleased to see that. So, thinking about this movie that I just saw, I just got to tell you about it. So, the movie is called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I'm going to tell you as much about the movie that I can without spoiling anything at all. And it's, to tell you the truth, it's kind of hard to spoil because the movie is the title of the movie. So this movie stars Michelle Yeoh as Evelyn Wang, Stephanie Hsu as Joy Wang, Ke Huy Quan plays Wayman Wang. And the reason that I want to pause on this because this is the actor that I was talking about. It turns out that Ke Huy Quan is also the actor that played Short Round on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and he played Data in the movie The Goonies. So these are two iconic films that he's been in, and he really hasn't been in much since then, or anything that's like as blockbustery as those two movies. Nothing as impactful to the culture as those two movies. It's like he disappeared, and now he's back in this movie, which is an extremely impactful movie. And after him is James Hong, and he plays Gong Gong. And James Hong is everybody knows him as an iconic Chinese actor, but I remember him the most from Big Trouble in Little China. Also, there's Jamie Lee Curtis as Deirdre Beaubeirdre, and the funny thing about this is Jamie Lee Curtis I didn't recognize her. I didn't recognize her at all, and that was a shocking thing. I didn't realize that it was Jamie Lee Curtis until I saw the credits at the end of the movie. And finally, Tali Medel, she plays Becky Schrager. This movie was written and directed by Dan Kwan and Daniel Schreiner. The official synopsis of this movie is that an Asian Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes connecting with the lives that she could have had. And that's kind of a key phrase. It was released, as I said, March 25th by A24, and they seem to specialize in like quirky supernatural horror type movies. At least those are the trailers that this studio showed when we watched the trailers. You seen it seemed like they had a lot of spooky, weird supernatural stuff coming out soon. But they're also responsible for Uncut Gems, which is a down to earth movie. So so their hands are in a lot of pies. And it was produced by AGBO, Hot Dog Hands, and Leyline Entertainment. Hot Dog Hands is probably a real studio, but it's also an inside joke that you'll get when you see the movie. So to give you my impressions, as I said, the name of the movie is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And this movie seems to give you everything. It seems to go everywhere, and you seem to get it all at once as you're sitting in the theater. One of the most impactful things about this movie is that it's not afraid to get silly, to do something that some people would consider stupid, right? It goes there it goes in such unexpected places. Some of the things are so silly in an impactful way. And the crux of the movie is the emotional attachment with family. So you have Evelyn and Wayman Wong. They're a married couple trying to make it. I think it's San Fernando, California. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think they have a location, but when you look in where they shot the movie, I think it was in San Fernando, California. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the word. I slept on my bed wrong and my jaw feels funny, or either I slept on the bed and my jaw feels funny and I am having a hard time speaking, or alternately, I have an infection. I don't know. I'm going to the hospital tomorrow, and maybe I can tell them about that. So anyways, there's also James Wong. He plays the grandfather, and Joy Wang, who is the daughter, is Wayman's and Evelyn's daughter. So it seems like everyone in the family is estranged from Evelyn in some way. So she's estranged from her daughter because her daughter is living a lifestyle that Evelyn doesn't understand. She's estranged from her husband because she kind of views her husband as weak, and she can't appreciate what he brings to the business, and she can't appreciate his basically him. Like, she loves everyone in her family, but she has a hard time appreciating him or them, the members of her family, especially her husband, and she has a hard time showing affection. Like, she's the serious one in the family. She's a savvy businesswoman, but at the same time, because of who she is, she can't appreciate what, like, for example, Wayman brings to the table. So she sees him as weak and ineffective, and she can't really express her feelings. She's estranged from her father, even though her father lives with them. She's estranged from her father because when she had to run off to marry Wayman, and when she ran off and she left China with Wayman, her father basically disowned her. It's like, you are not my daughter, that sort of thing. So she is estranged from everyone. So in the midst of this, trying to save her business, because her business is kind of in trouble with the IRS. So even though she's like estranged from them, she needs to bring them all. She needs to bring them all to the IRS to try to sort these out, so the IRS doesn't take her business. And in the midst of this, she gets a visit from somebody from another universe, and she's being asked to save the multiverse. So they're like while she's trying to straighten out things with the IRS, she at the same time is basically given a mission to try to save everyone in the universe from this great evil that no one knows what this evil wants, but at the same time they don't understand they don't understand what it wants, but they understand that it is evil, and they need her to help them stop this evil. So it goes through the entire gamut of trying to rescue her family, on a personal level, and at the same time trying to rescue the entire universe from this great evil. And as I'm sitting there watching, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do both of these things, and they do both of these things wonderfully. And so there is a main story. I don't want to talk about the main story, the real story behind the real story behind the story, I guess, because there's a story of saving the universe, there's a story of saving a family, but there's also, I feel like there's a real story behind it, and I feel like that would be spoiler territory. So I found myself, just giving you my impressions. There were some parts that were, it goes so fast that I don't fully understand what's going on, but it doesn't require my understanding because I'm impacted anyway. Like I'm impacted strongly by some of the silliness, and I'm impacted by the emotional beats because this movie gets very emotional at times, and then I'm impacted by the how funny it could be. And it goes through all of those things. It goes through an emotional spectrum without being manipulative, and I found that to be very impressive. And so it goes in multiple directions in the middle of the movie, and then by the end of the movie, it kind of pulls it back together. And I thought all of that was impressive. So if you're into weird, quirky movies, or an emotional roller coaster ride, I would strongly suggest you see this. And as a bonus, I would say it has some great Hong Kong action. And the man I mentioned before, Ke Huy Quan, he's quite the action star. What has he been up to lately? Well, he has perfected his Hong Kong fighting style, his Hong Kong movie star fighting style. He is very good at that, and it was a joy to see the fight scenes. The fight scenes they did things in this movie with fight scenes that I can tell you that have not been done in any other movie, at least no movie that I've seen. And some people might say that these things are silly, or some people might say that these things are revolutionary. It's a little bit of both. So I would say go see it. I strongly recommend it. It's definitely worth the challenge to watch this movie. I say, in the midst of all of these different types of films, this is one of the most unique films that you will see all year. So that's my impression. That's how I felt. And check it out for yourself. Thank you for joining us. Once again, my name is Zoe. And if you're going to be anything, be outstanding.